This works.
it
It's not
just
going to be
picks
loud.
it.
You're not going to hear
Okay,
it.
okay. It just picks the sound.
Yes.
It picks
It's
it up.
only for the webcast.
Okay.
You guys will just be talking regular voice.
Okay. Okay. No problem.
Yeah,
No
we'll
problem.
have a fun time.
Other than that, you know,
And then
just kind of stay in that area. You can talk to each other, and you don't be afraid to look into the camera. You can look into the camera when you want to talk to the audience.
Yo, what is the best time to look into the camera? Should we be looking at each other or looking in the camera?
When you guys are out talking, she's like, for what you guys are doing now, it's totally cool to look into the camera because a lot of the questions, like, you know, for the audience out there, what's asking this? So you guys can talk to each other when you're asking each other questions.
No problem. No
But
problem.
when you want to talk to the audience, feel free to look right into the camera and talk to the audience.
Sweet.
No problem.
Other than that, you guys have 7 minutes, so feel
Okay.
free to hang out. You can set the microphones on the floor,
Sure.
whatever you want to do.
Sure.
Yeah, so
This is great. How long is it going to last?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah, so it'll
Okay.
be quick.
And it will be
Well,
aired on your website.
Yeah, it's being live streamed on 4 YouTube channels at the
Really?
same time. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so you're getting
Ah.
out to at least 1,000 people live, and then it'll be on there for eternity. So make
That's
sure you
great.
say some embarrassing stuff.
That's great.
Yeah. So probably what I'll do.
actually did Hashpuppies.
Yeah, that's coming up later. Oh, wait, is the next one iMusify after this?
Yes. So
You already erased it?
So I'm gonna erase that. So you can just look at the top line instead. Actually, I'll try and find where you list.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just gonna say hi to the people.
Yeah.
And then tell them about everything, and then I'm gonna say
Yeah. Sure.
hi. And yeah,
Sure.
you're good. You don't even need me here.
Of course.
We're gonna try and think, like just a couple more times.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna thank the
Live
audience
streaming
today.
on 4 channels.
So can I have the link?
Sure.
What's the link?
His is gonna be YouTube under the user Crypto Love.
Send in the Telegram.
Crypto Love?
Crypto Love.
Like what it says on my shirt.
Yeah.
I do like your shirt, by the way.
Yeah, you can get one. Go to crypto-love.com, click on store, you can get one. Shipped directly to you. Free shipping.
NEOTalk live at
Yeah. It's sweet, right? When I first started the channel,
at the moment.
I called up I had to get a banner made for YouTube, so I called up, or I found someone on Fiverr, and I was like, can you make like a unicorn shooting rainbows and bitcoins out of his butt? And they're like, that's an interesting idea.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Boom shakalaka. What is up, guys? Randall here from Crypto Love, and we are live at DevCon. And before we get started, I have David here from Trinity.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. And before we get started, we would like to say thank you real fast to Moonlight for paying for our accommodations and getting us out here. Also to Neo News Today for putting this awesome thing together. To Neo for putting this whole DevCon together. And to all of you for watching. Now, let's get started. David, tell us about Trinity.
Okay, so I believe most of you guys have heard about Trinity already. Trinity is the option scaling solution for Neo, and we utilize the state channel technology to help the users and the corporate clients to have better processing power on Neo blockchain, and it is an option scaling solution. So together with Neo's own on-chain scaling solution, it will form a better founding stone and the technology infrastructure for the future entire Neo ecosystem. Yeah.
So you're aiming to make Neo work faster. How fast are we talking?
Actually, it's theoretically it's only limited by the performance of the hardware and by the bandwidth. But we all know that 5G is coming, and the processing power these days on a handset, on a personal device, is much greater than what is used to be on those laboratories. So I would say the processing power, the transaction throughput will be dramatically high than you have ever imagined before. So it will be at a very different magnitude. I think we'll start with at least 100,000 transactions per second allowed on the state channel. Yeah. And that's by our one state channel operator alone. That is us. And if we have more people joining us later this year and form a full global P2P network, that will be at a very dramatic number, I think. Yeah.
All right. And can you tell everyone what you mean by state channels?
Okay, so basically a state channel is a payment channel between two or multiple trading counterparties, and it's actually similar to those you have today with Alipay or WeChat Pay. But the difference is all these transactions will be generated with a unique nonce to mark its status, and it will be settled on the Neo blockchain when you close the channel. So you have the virtues of a blockchain, that is to make these transactions not falsifiable, not let's say you cannot falsify, you cannot double spend, but you still have the efficiency of those existing systems. Yeah.
Very nice. Now, you guys had a pretty rockin' party last night. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We had like over 300 people attending our party, and it was a great night. And the view was good, actually.
Yeah, that was an awesome time. And during the party, you stopped and you did a transaction.
No, actually, because too many people, it was crowded and loud. So after we get back to the hotel room, I showed a little video of the transaction and a little demonstration of how this app would be looking like. It's a demo, okay, and made the transactions in the state channel, which is operating right now on the new testnet. And we will update this video on our website very soon when I'm delivering the speech. And I'll also show the audience at the speech. So, yeah, that's it.
Okay, so if people wanted to see that video that you made, where could they go and find it?
You can go find it on our website, or you can check the video about our later, speech. Yeah.
Okay, and that website's trinity.tech?
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Now, the name, I'm sure for anyone who's seen The Matrix, they know where it comes from. Tell us about that.
Exactly. So I am fully aware that Trinity, this term, has certain religious meanings. But in the very beginning, we were just thinking, okay, about The Matrix and, Trinity as the best companion and in love with Neo. So I think we're positioning us just like her, okay, to help with Neo and to make him better and to achieve its goal, okay, his goal. And but I do have to say, okay, if you look at the movie, there's a reason that they named this character Trinity, okay, But that's out of the scope of this conversation. Yeah.
So are you in love with Neo?
Let's say I cannot say I'm in love with Neo because Neo is like my baby. Okay, we have very understanding of this love. I think it's more about care. Okay, so we started doing iShares for for a very long time. You guys probably, if you are new, you don't know that. Like a few years ago, crypto industry is not like what it's like today, and it was there were hardships and there were struggles, but we overcame, right? And it's great to see that iShares evolved and rebranded into Neo and becomes what it is today. And I'm more excited for what it will become in the future. And actually, I used to convince people, okay, iShares is going to be the best public blockchain from China, and it will have the second functioning independent smart contract system. Nobody believed until rebranded into Neo and everybody knew. Okay, or probably after the price went up.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So what's the roadmap look like coming up?
I will release the roadmap very soon on the speech, but also it will be updated at the same time on our website, so you can refresh our website in a few hours, and you will see the roadmap.
Okay.
So we have laid down. We're going to show you the roadmap of this year, but still we are holding like 50% of the contents under embargo, so it's still a secret.
Ooh,
50% still
secrets.
secret. Yeah,
nice.
It will be released in time. Yeah, but
Nice.
the other 50% I can tell you guys right now.
Okay.
And you can tell the approximate timing that we're gonna release this secretive development plans.
Okay, awesome. So we're starting to wind down on time. Anything else you would like to say to all the people watching out there?
Yeah, sure. So we are very soon going to be launching our TCCIP, that is Trinity Community Contributor Incentive Program, and we're covering all aspects. Okay, from incentivizing people to joining and expanding our community to help us with technology or business. So I think you guys will love it, and it is also a very important way for us to increase the supply of TNC to the market in a way that will reward and help those who join our community. So I think you guys will love it. It will be launched early February. So I hope you guys who are interested can, tune in and wait for our updates. That's it.
Cool. Thank you so much, David from Trinity.
Yeah.
And then we have coming up next YLGV with iMusify.
What is up, everyone? Danny from YLGV. And today, right now, I'm talking with Nate from Musify. So if you would just maybe introduce the project a little bit and tell us what it's all about.
Absolutely. It's great to be here. So iMusify, we really like to define iMusify as the smart economy for music. Much like Neo is promoting themselves as the smart economy, we are really pushing to become the smart economy for music, and we're really looking forward to becoming the leaders in decentralizing this industry, and in doing that, looking forward to solving many of the crucial challenges that artists face that are a result of these centralized institutions. And so I just want to emphasize that the power of decentralization for creators and for artists will really create an immense amount of opportunity in giving them the resources they need in the future.
Now, if you could just talk about the IMU token a little bit and really how that's going to be used in the entire ecosystem.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a great question. So the IMU token is our utility, and we often define it as the economic engine for our platform. And what that means is it'll allow for our peer-to-peer network for users to exchange value. So an example of what that could look like is we'll promote a mechanism that will allow artists to crowdfund using our IMU token. And in raising funds, they can then directly take that amount of tokens and go to our marketplace of producers and artists and musicians and promote and produce their album. So it's really a closed system that allows artists to raise funds and then directly produce and create on our platform. So it's really a key point of value in providing these resources and these opportunities, and we're really looking forward to developing more uses for it. One of the things we promote with iMusify is an open innovation system. So while we're beginning with this crowdfunding process, really the sky is the limit for what the IMU token can be used for. We have multiple user types, from artists, fans, entrepreneurs, producers, service providers, product providers. And as we develop and grow this network, I think the uses for the token are really going to grow and expand in amazing ways. So, yeah.
Awesome, that sounds great. Now, one of the things I see with music platforms today, a lot of times, with certain, even some of the biggest ones today, a lot of times lesser known artists get zero attention whatsoever, and the bigger ones get pushed to the top. Even sometimes some of them don't even have the highest quality music, yet just because their audience base is all over their tracks, they're getting pushed to the top. Do you think that down the line in the future that you guys will cater more to smaller artists and help everyone get some recognition, or do you think it might end up the same way as bigger platforms?
That's a great question as well, and I think at the beginning we're certainly going to focus on we like to define them as emerging artists. So young artists and groups that have some sort of community, whether they're just getting started or have been at it for a few years now, and have some work, but who are really looking to push the envelope and grow and achieve sustainable revenue. So down the line in a few years, I don't think there's any reason to stipulate between the larger artists and the smaller ones, because the people who stand to gain from our platform are the ones who want to do better for themselves. So if larger artists are treated better from these other platforms, they're welcome to stay there. But we feel very confident that, and we've experienced it all firsthand as artists, that the community and the network of each individual artist is so strong, in that each of these people want to value that and they want to respect that, and that's what we think will be the draw in coming to our platform.
Right, and that really leads a little bit into my next question. You talked about a little bit of it already, but how is iMusify different than other big platforms like SoundCloud, for example, than just the regular platforms?
Yeah, that's a great question too, and I think it really comes down to the community aspect. We developed as a community. We really promote the open source philosophy in our own company and within our own team, and I think that transcends into the artist community, because we're allowing for direct peer-to-peer interaction between artists and their fans. And I think that is such an immense value, because it allows artists to see and to understand how their work is being experienced, and actually track in a secure way how it's being enjoyed and who is using it. So I think that is an immense value that our platform provides over existing platforms. So.
And do you think that eventually users could end up making iMusify their main source of income when they're uploading their content?
Yeah, I really do fully believe that. Whether an artist or a creator is making music to be enjoyed by fans, whether they're making soundtracks to licensed commercials, whether they're making a creative combination of audio and visual work, our network and our platform is a fully inclusive ecosystem. So there are multiple opportunities for artists to make multiple sources of income from their work. So I fully believe that iMusify will serve as not only an open model, but a fully inclusive model for artists achieving sustainable revenue.
Right. And then just another quick question, looking really how like on YouTube today, they've been rewarding more users. Quick question, looking really how like on YouTube today, they've been rewarding more users for the kind of content they put out, the kind of engagement they get, and really how long people watch the actual video. And if people end up leaving the video early, that video usually gets pushed down in results. Are you guys going to be using any sort of similar data in iMusify, and you guys see who's listening to the tracks, how much feedback a certain track is getting, and if people are actually listening throughout the entire song?
Right, so that's one of the downsides that YouTube presents, is they as a system are are doing the curating. And that's one of the main differences with iMusify is our curation is democratic in that our users decide. They are upvoting and downvoting and commenting. So we will play no part in deciding what is valuable and what is not on our platform. It is a fully democratic system where our users maintain all of that voting power.
Right. Yeah, I think especially now it's getting more important, and we're seeing it with cryptocurrency that people are finally starting to have a voice, using different governance examples and definitely with platforms such as this. So really what iMusify users are going to have a bigger voice than all the other platforms currently, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I think if you look at the greater crypto landscape, businesses across the board are realizing that they have the freedom to kind of promote their voice in whatever they're trying to accomplish. And we're really just pushing that on a simpler creative level for artists. Each artist has a voice that they want to be able to have heard, and we're making that happen.
And now with the blockchain, especially since it is starting to really pick up more attention, how do you guys think you're going to deal with any copycats or any competition that comes into the space?
We welcome them. We're an open source project, and if people want to take our stuff and run with it, they're going to do that. But we're moving fast, and we're building our community, and we welcome people to come and join us, and we're open to competition. And I think that anyone who comes into this space with the goal of bringing value back to artists is great for us.
Great. And then lastly, do you have anything else you want to say? If maybe you could elaborate on a few plans you guys have for the rest of 2018?
Absolutely. So we will be moving towards our IMU's token launch in May. We're going to be announcing some cool features and platform features on Neo News. So I recommend everyone stay tuned to Neo News today. It's a great media outlet. The guys are doing some really exciting stuff. Other than that, we're gonna be launching our initial platform this summer. So I encourage everyone to look for it. And if you have friends who are artists or you're an artist yourself, I encourage you to get involved with our project and reach out. So thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you iMusify for joining me here today. Now I'm going to send you guys over to Crypto Bud.
How's it going, guys? It's CryptoBud here for today. Here I am with AlphaCat. His name is Peter Yan, Director of Tech here at AlphaCat. This project is actually about trading and specifically artificial intelligence in the marketplace. Peter here has a lot of experience talking to us, leading into a little bit about quant trading. And I find this one pretty interesting because I myself, as you already know, a heavy trader. And so Peter's going to talk a little bit about what AlphaCat is, and hopefully you guys can get some information more about bots and also arbitrage. And so, Peter, thank you for coming here for today.
Thank you very much.
Can you tell us a little bit about AlphaCat? There's been a lot of buzz, a little bit about trading, bot trading, exchanges. How does your company kind of fit into this overall ecosystem?
Oh, okay. AlphaCat is the world's first predictive robot platform for focus on cryptocurrency, and we use AI robots and some other proven algorithm robots to trade your cryptocurrency to make your profit.
Awesome. My understanding, Peter, and if you can explain to me a little bit here, is you're developing a marketplace where people can actually buy these algorithms from other people. Is that correct?
Yeah. You can use our AlphaCat token to buy some skilled people who can share their talents, just like some programmers can program their robots that use some proven algorithms, and some people who can write some analysis reports, just like waste rating, and some people who can generate some study on the cryptocurrency or cryptography, and so you can use your own AlphaCat token to buy their service, their products, and their robots.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about overall and your actual team. Now, one of the things I usually find really interesting with these projects is that in terms of the quant trading and also industry experience. Tell me a little bit about the team that's involved in the project and what's your experience on making this happen, both technical and non-technical.
Okay, I think our head, the founder, Dr. Li Bin, is our key role in our team. He gained his PhD in physics from New York University, and he has more than 21 years experience in quantitative trading and financial industries in Wall Street. And so he successfully served as vice president in Merrill Lynch and executive director, head of global quantitative strategy trading group at UBS, and he also is the CEO and chairman of TradeTrack.com. And in 2000, he and his co-founders create a website called aastocks.com, which now is the most successful financial website in Hong Kong.
Awesome. So, from my understanding is your AlphaCat is using algorithms to basically take advantage of market inefficiencies. Is that correct? And the team that you have right now, they're actually from a lot more former Wall Street quantitative technicalists who actually are now using that for cryptocurrency. Is that right to say?
Yes.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. Let's go on and talk a little bit about your tech team. So, how many do you have on the tech team right now, and what type of programming languages will you be running, etc.?
Okay, we have almost 20, almost 20 here, and 20 now, and the programming language from Python, C#, C++, and Java. Yeah.
Okay. Let's just talk a little bit about your algorithms. Are your algorithms prediction markets, or are they more of an aggregating all the data and then beginning to do analysis? Can you talk a little bit about how your algorithms work, specifically for AlphaCat?
Okay, AlphaCat has been running on China Asia markets for more than 1 year, and it achieved 25 annual year return. It's great, and how we produce these robots, we use our distributed query system to get the information like news and announcements and some other price and volume, some informations, all put them together into the neural network model, and then use the deep learning and neural network method to learn it and generate the probability, because we have more than 500 nodes in the neural network, and every node will create a probability for prediction. So maybe some of them think tomorrow the price will rise, and some of them will think tomorrow price will down. So we put them together and get a total imagine about it. So if we get the total imagine higher than some level, we think tomorrow it will have a more probability to rise or down.
I see. So my understanding is that it aggregates. It's a data aggregation system where it takes in news feeds, it takes in price points, and it puts it all together and formulates it under your neural network algorithm, which eventually creates some sort of probability for the price to go up or go down depending on what you have. Is that correct?
Yes.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about adaptive CTA, which is one of your technologies that's lined by neural network. Is that something different or adaptive than that? What do you mean by adaptive CTA?
Called adaptive CTA is a proven algorithm. That CTA means commodity trading algorithm. So it's always used on future trading, and the future will always drop down or up so dramatically. So if your technical index cannot get up quickly to fix the price, you will get the wrong answer. So you need the adaptive method to quickly to fix the price line.
Got it.
So we can get a better answer.
I see.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about cryptocurrencies. Why did you make the jump over to cryptocurrencies further versus staying in the stock market or the forex markets in China? Is there something specific about cryptocurrencies that you think your algorithm is much better suited for, or was that just something that you just wanted to explore?
Okay. I think we never do something we can't do. We can't do because we have done some research on cryptocurrency, and it shows our model, our neural network and AI model, also can be used on it and get a great profit. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your cat tokens. How many coins do you have total? Why would someone want to hold the actual tokens themselves for AlphaCat?
We released together about 6.25 billion AlphaCat tokens, and all these tokens will maybe not exactly, maybe 6% were circulating, and you can use the AlphaCat token to use our service on the platform.
Got it.
Yeah.
Partnerships. Do you have any partnerships right now with financial institutions, either in China or abroad, that are now want to have to use your algorithms and your platforms?
Yes. We have many traditional financial institution partners, cause we run we have run our AI model on their fund, So, and we also provide our algorithm like market makers on some exchange, and also we have some institution investor.
Got it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Is there one thing that you would like to say to the audience right now about why AlphaCat will be an interesting project for them to research?
Okay, I think AlphaCat, it shows big possible to explore that you can use the robot to trade instead of you, cause you cannot trade every day because the exchange opens 7 days. So
Absolutely.
it's a great possible solution to you and me to instead of you to monitoring the screen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Peter. I really thank you for your there you go, you guys have it. The Peter from AlphaCat here. So if you're not checked it out, go ahead and check it out. And I want to pass it over to Crypto Chico over here for DeepBrain. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yo, what's up, viewers? Tyler here of Chico Crypto. I'm sitting down with a very, very popular Neo project, DeepBrainChain. So, introduce yourselves.
首先，请你介绍一下自己。
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone.
And this is Huang, CEO.
I'm CEO of DeepBrainChain.
And this is Joya.
My name is Huang.
So, first question I have for you guys is, could you just explain what DeepBrainChain is for someone who doesn't know?
第一个问题是，能不能向不认识 DBC 的人介绍一下生脑链到底是什么？
好的，谢谢大家。生脑链的话，简单来说就是区块链驱动的人工智能计算平台。
To put it in one sentence, it's a blockchain platform powering AI companies.
Very, very cool. So, could you explain how the value of DeepBrainChain will be provided to the token holders.
那能不能请你解释一下 DBC 的价值要怎么透过要怎么传播这些价值到手上持有 DBC 币的人？
OK， 就是 DBC 的价值在于说 DBC 怎么解决这个就是我们所要解决的这些问题的。那它解决人工智能行业的2个非常核心的问题呢。
So the value of DBC lies within the fact that we're trying to solve 2 issues AI companies are facing nowadays, 2 downfalls that all AI companies are facing.
OK。
那人工智能有3要素，就是数据、算力、算法。那这3要素其实的花费的成本都非常高的。
There's 3 core elements of AI, which is algorithm, computing, power, and data. And all these elements cost a lot of money.
Really?
对，那我们就解决其中2个很重要的问题，一个就是如何能够让这些 AI 的企业能够有很低的成本进行大规模的神经网络训练。第二的话，如何让这些 AI 企业的数据能够得到保护，能够让整个 AI 行业的数据的隐私问题得到解决呢？
So we're trying to solve 2 main issues. First of all is to reduce the cost on neural network training for AI companies because computational power requires a lot of cost, and also to reduce costs on buying data and at the same time increase security for data that the AI company is trying to buy.
So the blockchain is basically where that security is going to come from, correct?
所以说，您的意思是区块链可以提供这个安全上的保护，是这样子的吗？
是的，对。
Correct.
Correct. Very well. Next question I have is regarding DeepBrain Cloud. How did that come about, and could you explain that for my viewers?
所以他的第2个问题是想要了解 DBC 的云端的网络，你能不能跟观众解释一下 DBC 云端网络是怎么样
？OK， 就是 DBC 的话，这个云端的网络的话是由很多的这个挖矿的节点组成的。那每一个的挖矿的节点，通过它贡献的这种神经网络计算单元的计算力，来去获得这个代币的奖励呢。
So the cloud network of DBC is constructed of many different miners, different nodes. So through their computational power, when they're mining for DBC for the cloud network, they will receive the token, which is DBC, as a reward.
对，我们云端的网络会支持这个 AI 的企业能够进行这种计算。那它把它的这个产品就是的算法就是包装成这个一个容器，然后运行在这个生产链之上呢。
So the miners on DBC will help AI companies optimize this computational and their algorithm and package it into a container so it can run on top of DeepBrainChain, this blockchain platform.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, could you name some of the actual functions that that computing the cloud will provide for AI?
您能不能讲一下几个功能，就是我们的平台可以替 AI 公司提供的一些功能？具体的
有几块，第一块就是 AI 公司可以上面进行训练，那第二的话 ，AI 公司可以把它的应用程序，这种神经网络计算可以在上面进行就是大规模的这个计算，那这样它用户量特别大的时候，那这个时候就是生产链能够帮助他们进行这个弹性计算，也就是说能够让用户量大的时候，就是计算节点会多，会为它服务；用户量少的时候，计算节点会少，为它服务。
Okay, so sorry, I'm gonna have to ask him to repeat. 你先说第一个答案。
就是第一个就是训练，就是可以给 AI 进行训练。
So the first function is we can help AI companies train the data, train their models.
对，第二个就是能够帮助更多的 AI 企业进行计算。
To help more AI companies do their computational.
对
yes.
当它用户量特别大的时候，就可以帮它去调节它的计算能力。
A lot of users, we can elevate their stress on having to compute so much users' data.
第二的话就是 AI 企业可以在上面去购买，比如说数据啊，对吧？然后这个数据的隐私问题嘛，也会得到保护的。
Another thing is AI companies can also buy data on DBC platform, and these data are secured and protected for their privacy.
Wow, secured through the blockchain. So does DeepBrainChain have plans of creating their own blockchain, or will they be using NEOs for the future?
所以生产链有计划要做自己的区块链吗？还是会用 NEO 的？
生产链的就是代币是在基于 NEO 上发布的，然后生产链的这个就是挖矿的这个机制， 就是也是的智能合约也是在 Leo 上写的，但是呢，生产链的就是链本身是和 Leo 是分开的。
So DBC's token is released and works on the Neo system, and also
它的挖矿
for mining
对
app
这个就是智能合约
and
是在
smart
Leo 上写的
contract also runs on Neo,
对
but the chain itself is separated from
It's gonna be a
Neo.
separate
对
chain.
但是挖矿软件和挖矿本身的是在生产链里面做的。
But mining apps and the action of mining itself is within DBC.
Wow, that's amazing. So will DBC support other various AI platforms such as Torch or NEX Next?
所以
对
DBC 会支持这些其他的 AI 的
是的，
平
是的
台。，Yes.
不光支持这么多，还会支持像这个咖啡、TensorFlow 等等，我们都会去支持的。
We'll support even more than that, such as Cafe and TestFloor. We'll support them as well.
Wow, those are on the way. Wow, that's
这些事
awesome.
情已经在进行当中了吗？
That's
Yes, they're on the
awesome.
way.
That's awesome. So let's talk about the roadmap for DBC. How is the progress going? What do you guys see happening in the next year?
那我们聊一下 DBC 未来的蓝图嘛？今年2018年会有什么计划？有
对，
什么目标
2018年就是几个非常重要的事情。
？There's a few very important stages for 2018.
应该说分两块，
They are categorized into two
一
types.
一块是产品和技术，
First of all is our product and our technology,
一块是市场的。
and the second part is the market.
在产品和技术的话，就是我们在第二季度末会进行内部的整个的测试啊。
For the first part, which is our product, we will do internal testing at the end of second season.
对，我们计划就是在第三季度末能够把我们的挖矿软件开放出来。
And we plan to release our mining app at the end of season 3.
对，能够让更多的让 AI 企业进来，可以在上面进行训练的。
To let more AI companies to be able to train on the platform.
同时的话，DBC 的代币现在已经开始在一些的，就是 To C 的产品里面开始应用起来了啊。
什么是 to C?
To C 就是用户。
哦，
对
C
，C 就是用户。
So
client
also the DBC tokens already flowing in among some of the users.
比如说 DeepBrain。
For example, DeepBrain, which is our AI company.
对，就 DeepBrain 技能商店Skill Shop。
Skill
DeepBrain
shop.
Skill Shop。
Okay, this
You
is.
can use DBC pay buy DBC.
Oh, so there's a DeepBrain skill shop which users can already use our token, which is DBC, to buy products on DeepBrain, which is an AI company. So it's already flowing.
Such as skills for AI. Those can be purchased already.
Yes.
Wow, that's great.
OK，
很棒
就这是产品和技术嘛。那第二块呢就是市场。
For the second part,
那市
market.
场的话，在第二季度末的目标是能够在全球100多个国家能够是有超过10万的这个就是社区用户的。
So we plan to have in 100 countries over 100,000 users in the next, in this year, in the coming year, in this year.
Wow, well, it sounds like 2018 is the year of DeepBrainChain.
那时候
So
听起来
people
2018
out there,
年
if you haven't
应该
heard
是
of
我们的年
DeepBrainChain,
度。
I would definitely look into it. One last question I have for you
最后一个
guys,
问
and
题。
it's been burning. I've heard about you guys working with a Mickey Mouse educational robot for them. Could you explain that for me?
他说他听说我们和那个米奇老鼠的教育机器人有一起合作，有一起工作，你能不能解释一下这个情况
OK， 这个米奇的老鼠的话，它用的是 DeepBrain 这个大脑啊。
So this Mickey Mouse educational robot, it uses the brain of DeepBrain as its core brain.
那实际上米奇老鼠只是我们现在目前的很多项目中的其中一个。
Mickey Mouse robot is only one of the many products of DeepBrain at the moment.
今年18年会有类似于米老鼠的这样的产品的话，会有上百个产品会出来的。
This year in 2018, there will be hundreds other similar products to Mickey Mouse robot released.
对，然后这个像米老鼠这样的产品，它里面内部的这个教育体系用的都是 DBC， 并且我们是面向全球，开始面向全球去做的。
So the system and the brain in products such as Mickey Mouse robot, they all use the tech and the brain of DeepBrain, and our target client is the entire globe.
Oh, wow.
对，所以说 DeepBrain 是这个生产链上面的一个非常重要的一个人工智能的一个应用。
So DeepBrain, this AI company, is very important to DBC because it's actually an AI company application using the DeepBrainChain.
对，然后它也是一个重要的范例，能够让后面更多的 AI 企业能够参考它怎么去使用 DeepBrainChain 呢？
It is also a very important example for other AI companies to see how they can use and apply on DBC.
Okay. Well, actually, one last question. Have you
最后一个问题。
ever heard of Skynet?
你有听过 Skynet
Is
吗？
DeepBrain trying to create Skynet?
他说 DBC 是不是试图在打造 Skynet？
你说我们试图在打造人工智能网络。
We're trying to build an AI network.
Of course. That's what I like to hear. Well, you
他喜欢
guys,
听到这种
thank you
答
so
案。
much for the
谢谢
interview.
你。
It was a great one, and I'm going to be
很感
throwing
谢。
it over to
Thank you.
Crypto Love and Hashpuppies, baby.
Boom shakalaka, what's up guys? Randall here from Crypto Love with Joe from Neo Smart IoT and Hashpuppies. What's up, Joe?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, having the time of my life today, talking with all these awesome people, yourself included. Burning questions. Everybody wants to know what's up with the blazer.
It's just something that went in and said, hey, we need something to dress up a little bit, but it has to match these silly T-shirts. So we took it into the store and showed them the T-shirts, and they're like, yeah, we can't do anything for you. Try this. So
Awesome.
went with it.
All right, and quick follow-up question. How about the name tag thing?
Oh, this. This is an actual working implementation of our award-winning DApp, the Neo Smart IoT. This is actually connected to our smart contract on the blockchain. So, anytime somebody invokes our smart contract the correct way and sends us a little bit of gas, then they can change the color of the badge.
That is awesome. So have you had people change the color of the badge yet today?
They've been trying. A few people have succeeded, but we've run into some difficulties. People trying to get up and running. We gave them kind of short notice. In our first talk, we mentioned how the invocation worked and said, okay, you've got like 2 hours to get your blockchain all synced up, and if you've ever downloaded the entire blockchain, even on the testnet, it takes a while. So. So people have been definitely trying it, and we offered them, if they were successful, 1 RHT per successful invocation up to 100, and they've been trying and run into a little bit of glitches. So we're just everybody who tried, we're gonna give them credit. They're gonna get an RHT if they tried to invoke the contract at all today.
Awesome. So for those of you who do not know, Smart IoT was the winner of the City of Zion DApp competition back in November. So tell us a bit about Smart IoT and potentially into Hashpuppies.
Well, the Smart IoT was something we did as our contest entry. We were drawing on our experience, working at the hackerspace that I founded 4 years ago. We've been deep into electronics, robotics, you name it, 3D printing and everything. And we had played around with these little IoT devices for a while. They're very cheap. They're very easy to program. And so we thought, well, that's kind of like a next logical step. If you have a blockchain and, you can control things digitally, why not control things in the real world? And we know how all that code works already. So all we have to do is hook it up to our smart contract and put a front end on it. And that's what we did. And, we were hoping that maybe we would be good enough to make the top 10. But then they said, you won first place. And we were like, that's incredible. Like,
yeah.
We were completely just blown away by that.
That is awesome. And so how'd that transition into Hashpuppies?
So, we came off of that. We were looking, okay, what's the next thing to work on? We had the NeoLink wallet that we created for the DApp so that we could invoke the contract. And we were planning on, just spending some time working on that. And then CryptoKitties hit, right? And, basically took down the Ethereum blockchain. And we're like, wow, if they had released that on Neo, that wouldn't have happened.
Right.
And like, well, somebody's probably going to release something like that on Neo. And then we thought about it, and it's like, well, we have everything that we need. We've built up this community of, programmers. We know how to do smart contracts. We've got contacts, with artists and 3D designers. So we're like, why not us? So we came up with the concept Hashpuppies, kind of a play on Hashpuppies, and said let's just go with it. Let's see what we can do and see if we can make it better than CryptoKitties and make an actual game, that you can play and have fun doing and not just investment scheme.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's the roadmap for Hashpuppies look like?
So the roadmap looks like we're going to roll here into spring, trying to get a testnet beta out that we can have some of the people on the Discord try out, and looking towards an MVP release sometime around the end of Q2. Hopefully we can get that out on schedule. Obviously, in the gaming world, things don't always go as planned. So we're going to try our best to get something out soon because we know that there's a lot of demand and anticipation. People are hanging out our Discord every day saying, when's the game going to be released? Is there a video of any of the gameplay or anything? And today was the first day when we actually had a video to show people what some of the animation would look like at least, and the graphic design that went into it.
Awesome. So if people want to see that animation, that video, where would they go to see that?
That's been posted to our Twitter feed, so they can go there and they can check that out.
And what's the Twitter handle?
The Twitter handle is @hash_puppies.
Awesome. Awesome. So you guys can go check that out. Now, what else have you got going on? You guys talking here? At Neo DevCon?
Yeah, we gave 2 talks. We did the demo of the Neo Smart IoT, and then we had to go right in 2 hours later and do the Hashpuppies talk.
Great. Anything that you shared with the people at Neo DevCon that you'd like to share with the audience at home?
I mean, I think that we were just impressed so much by Neo, not just the blockchain and the technology, but the community around it. It's something that we've been really happy to be a part of. Shane and I both became City of Zion members through our contributions, and there's just isn't another community like this out there that I've seen. There's other cryptocurrencies you can get involved with, and different levels of user involvement, but I've just never seen anything like the Neo community.
Yeah, brilliant community, absolutely awesome. Anything? So we're winding down on time. I think the next one is getting ready. Anything else you would like to mention, talk about, add? Just say hi to people out there.
Yeah, hi to everybody out there. If you're interested, if you want to follow the progress of Hashpuppies, you can join our Discord or sign up for the mailing list, and we'll keep you updated as the game progresses. And I think it's going to be really great. I think we're going to have something that's, not just like the first blockchain game on Neo, but I think it's going to be the first real blockchain game that is fully interactive, graphical. So I think it's going to set a precedent.
Yeah, that's really exciting because I played CryptoKitties and it was pretty.
It's okay.
I'm excited for Hashpuppies. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, it was a pleasure. Hashpuppies, check it out. Neo Smart IoT, everything there. Thank you for joining us. And guys, if you will look to the one coming after us, we got Tyler with Chico Crypto talking with NEOAuth.
Hey, yo, what's up, viewers? As Crypto Love said, Tyler of Chico Crypto. I'm here with Charlie Revett of NEOAuth, part of the City of Zion. So, Charlie, first question is, explain NEOAuth DApp to people who have no idea what it is.
So NEOAuth is a pretty simple DApp. It just allows anyone wanting to log into a web or mobile application to use their public wallet instead of an email and password. So it's using that really secure public key cryptography that we use to actually send payments, but using it for a login mechanism instead. So you can kind of see it as it's an easy way to explain as OAuth. So maybe you see email, password, login with Facebook, login with Google, and login with Neo.
Really? Yeah. So is it also using smart contracts as well as cryptography?
Yeah, so there's a pretty simple 100-line smart contract that sits in the middle of the tech stack, and that's just storing the proof of login within the blockchain so that applications outside of the blockchain can refer back to it to see that person is who they say they are, and actually that they prove that they've logged in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So could you explain how NEOAuth came about? I know from City of Zion it's pretty much started, so could you explain that for the viewers?
So City of Zion had the awesome idea of running some DApp competitions. So these are competitions aimed at bringing new people into the ecosystem and actually funding those projects. So you get over 1,000 gas for winning. So I thought this was a great opportunity to try something new, learn how to do smart contracts within the Neo ecosystem. That was in September. It kind of sparked my interest, and I wanted to create quite an approachable decentralized application, and that was September. We then finished the project in November and then got COZ funding in December.
Wow.
Yeah.
So City of Zion, they're running another DApp competition. So any viewers out there who are looking to build a DApp, explain to them the process of how you went through that.
So I think first you just need to think small. We took a really simple concept like logging in and tried to break it down to its like easiest and most understandable components, and then apply that to the Neo ecosystem. Don't try and go too big, because you'll just get stuck and you'll kind of get disinterested in it, because there's a lot to learn when you first come to the space. So think of something simple, and then if you're really quick, you might be able to build upon it later on. And maybe think about something that's not just towards the crypto community. Like NeoAuth is something that anyone could use if they've got a website. So I try and don't just kind of be aiming for the people that you hang out with. Try and think a little bit bigger.
Larger scale, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And use the community resources, because that's what, I mean, the blockchain is. It's a decentralized consensus model. So decentralizing your work is going to be very, very beneficial, and using the community members to get it done.
Yeah, completely. I think that's one of the big USPs of COZ, and also really Neo, is how we've managed to have this decentralized workforce, and we're really pushing people to work in their own time and be rewarded fairly when you actually get something done. So that's the whole thing around this. Like, just submit your project when you've actually done it. We don't really want to hear about it until you've finished it.
Until it's actually a working product.
Exactly, yeah. So we had some really good entries last time. There's another one going on now, and then there's the actual Neo official one, which is backed by Microsoft, which has got even bigger prizes. So anyone that wins the COZ one is placed really well to enter that one as well.
Wow, nice.
Yes.
So NeoAuth is working, as we just explained. It's a working product right now.
Yeah.
Could you tell viewers how they could start using it?
So just head over to neoauth.org. There's some really simple SDKs to use, and you have to run a NeoAuth node or use one of the ones which are already set up. As this is kind of still quite like a young project, this is only 4 months old, there's definitely still going to be some teething problems there. But as I've said before, and what I said in my talk, we always aim this to be both a very simple DApp for developers to understand, so it's a great opportunity to see an end-to-end solution, but also businesses to understand if they want to integrate with the Neo blockchain.
Nice. So let's talk about some businesses.
Yeah.
Do you have any businesses using it right now, or are there any businesses that may be looking to use it in the future?
So I think no. At the moment, no, because most of my time is actually being spent on development. I want to get the product a little bit more polished before I go out and try and push it into kind of the public eye. There has been some great opportunities within COZ already, which is awesome, because there's so many projects in this ecosystem, and it's such a friendly community that people are jumping on this and they want to start integrating with NeoAuth. So you'll soon see it within the Ozone mobile wallet. Mobile applications for Android.
O3, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So they're going to put it in, so that will really increase the usability of it. Some of the COZ projects really want to use it as well. So even though I'm aiming this at kind of outside the blockchain space as well, of course, the first people to use it are going to be the early adopters. Yeah.
And it's a perfect use case, because, I mean, with a simple password, guess what? That's easy to crack.
Yeah.
So NeoAuth is basically solving that problem, because guess what? It's tied to your public address, and only you can use that.
And I think you get the cool thing of actually being able to quickly create new identities. So yes, you'll have your identity, your wallet, which will have 100 Neo in it, and you don't want people to know what that is. But don't log in with that one. Create a new one, maybe create 5 new ones. One which is for personal logins, one which is for work logins, one which is for social logins, and you can start to create identities for different parts of the web. And you can't really do that with email at the moment. It's still a bit fragmented, so it's one of the key points that the community's really picked up and thought, oh, that's quite a cool thing.
Do you see this DApp ever evolving into something more, like besides just passwords? Do you see it evolving into something else?
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of people have come like, oh, that's a really good idea, but what if this? So KYC, people were saying, oh, it'd be really cool if you could log in with KYC, or if you could log in with a digital identity. Digital identity is not an easy thing to do. Like, a bunch of companies are trying to do it, and they've already been trying to do it on the Ethereum blockchain. So I, for one, am definitely not going to try and achieve that on my own with my small team. I'm going to I want to make it applicable to allow other people to use NeoAuth within their
own.
Yeah, exactly. So you can kind of see it as this glue that's going to be spread.
Going to help bind the ecosystem together.
Exactly, yeah. So slowly it's going to be used in more and more places. And because it's a simple, very rigid application that is secure, it doesn't really need to achieve massive things. It can just be used in a number of ways.
Exactly. So one thing I'm got a question about is NEOAuth nodes. You said you had to run one of those if you were to use it. Could you explain NEOAuth nodes and how someone at home would start one?
So it's pretty simple. If you understand how to use Docker, which is a way of containerizing an application, it's super simple. If not, Docker is pretty easy to learn because it's a very well documented technology now. We're also going to release a serverless one. Someone within the community has rewritten the Golang version into JavaScript, which is really cool. It's kind of in the faith of COZ. But these are nodes that the businesses actually communicate with to make actions onto the Neo blockchain. So it's maybe a kind of a gateway. And of course, we don't want to be the only people running these, so we want people within the community to be running these. We're probably going to run some kind of private, public token sale towards the end of the year. Super low cap. We don't want to raise like 10 million or something like that. And use that as a way to incentivize people to actually run these nodes.
Yes, that's a great idea because, I mean, one thing people like is money.
Exactly, yeah. It's a super easy way to award it. We want to do some interesting things like the more reliable your node is, the more money you get.
Wow.
The longer that you run your node, the more money you get. So maybe in the first month you're getting X, but by 2 years or a year, you're getting 10x every single day. So we want to play some cool economics into that and see what we can do with an interesting token sale.
Nice. And so you said that was planned hopefully by the end of the year?
Yeah, so we want to, towards the end of the year, we want to wait and see what NEX comes out with because I think they're going to improve the ISO kind of landscape for Neo a lot when they start bringing out their products towards the middle of the year. So. And also, we've got a bunch of work to do, and we don't want to jump into an ICO. Kind of what COZ is all about is delivering first and then asking for award later. So we want to do that the same way with our ICO.
I think that's a perfect thing. I mean, have a product first before you, right? Or at least an idea before you start asking for funds and getting things.
Yeah, completely. I'd want actual customers. I want integrations. I want it to be around the ecosystem and people to really understand it before we even really start properly going after an ICO and start talking about it. I didn't really publicize it at all in my talk this year because I imagine if I'm back next year for DevCon 2, I'll be publicizing it a lot more in that one.
A lot more.
Yeah.
So what businesses besides crypto do you see NEOAuth being used for the most? Like what industries?
I think the people who have actually come about and asked about it have been those who are really interested in digital identity. So there's a healthcare startup who are really interested in using it, but they wanted some element of digital identity. And the same was a company that had looked at Civic as well. And so I think we're missing that key. So hopefully by the end of the year, we can get that kind of integration with another project which is specializing in digital identity.
So if you had to give me an estimation regarding when we could go into Facebook and say, sign in with Neo, when do you think that could happen?
I think the general Neo ecosystem needs to get a little bit bigger.
A little bit more robust.
Yeah. So before we can start pushing that. And of course, we've got issues like login times are still 15 seconds. So we want to start doing off-chain solutions so we can get instantaneous logins. So I think that's pretty far off, but hopefully we'll see it around the web, maybe in some people who are early adopters. And I think the great thing about that is you're spreading the word of Neo by just having it on the login page everywhere.
Yeah.
Maybe people aren't using it, but they're seeing the name.
Exactly. So another question I like to ask every person I've interviewed is, how did you first get into crypto? Like, tell me the first time you heard about Bitcoin or Litecoin, Ethereum.
Yeah. I was working at IBM, internship when I was, I think, 17 or 18, and one of my friends also on the internship printed off the Bitcoin white paper and handed it to me. So that was kind of my first intro. The second intro was actually the Dogecoin subreddit.
Oh, really? Doge? Yeah. I remember those days.
I just think it's an awesome community, and it's still actually
it's
one
still
of the best.
It's still very active, and they still have their, what is it, Shiba Inu? Yeah. It's all over the place, which I think is amazing. They've created it was a joke token, of course, but they've created something out of that joke, which is amazing.
And I think that really shows the power of community, and that's what we're focusing here on at COZ as well. We've proven that you can get a coin into nearly the top 5, really with a really strong community, better than anyone else in the blockchain space.
Exactly. Well, any last viewers regarding COZ and NEOAuth for?
I think just get involved with COZ. It's such a great opportunity, and it's such a welcoming community as well. So just hit us up on Discord. Everyone's there to chat and kind of be welcomed. So.
Yeah, well, viewers, check them out on Discord. Hit them up if you have any questions. I'm going to be sending it over to O3.
What's up, guys? YLGV. Today I'm going to be talking with O3. Before we do get into it, I do want to thank the Moonlight Project once again for taking care of myself and the rest of the other interviewers, their accommodations, and just for us being able to be here at DevCon. But let's get right into it. You guys, if you could just introduce yourselves and then just tell us a little bit about the project.
Yeah, hi. So I'm Andrei Terentiev, and this...
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Abasit Tumpakti.
Yeah, and we're the co-founders of O3. So some of you might already have the mobile wallets for the Neo blockchain. So we're already live on both Android and iOS, and it's a pretty full-featured wallet. We support all the NEP5 tokens, the native assets. You can claim gas, send everything you'd kind of expect from a wallet. Yeah, so, you know, for those of you that haven't downloaded it yet, go check it out.
Now, how important do you guys think it is to have mobile wallets for Neo, especially Neo, and really other cryptocurrencies in general, for people to have all their funds in control at their fingertips and really bring cryptocurrency into the real world nowadays?
We focus on mobile, right? Because we believe that the mobile is the most personal computer in your pocket. So like it's the easiest way to access to the blockchain. So like your smartphone is with you every day. In every moment you check your phone like 60 times a day. So we want to provide our user the better user experience and the better user interface to access to the blockchain.
Yeah, and another thing, I think that there is a really big trade-off between like convenience and security, right? So mobile wallets potentially are, you know, less secure than something like a hardware wallet. But if you can't ever access your hardware wallet, like the cryptocurrency isn't super useful. Right. So we're kind of trying to build this kind of awareness of the concept of, you know, having a hot wallet, right, on your mobile device that you can use anytime, anywhere, and then also having a separate cold storage wallet is what we call it, where, you know, those funds are probably going to be more secure, but it's going to be hard to access those, right? So you need to really think about those trade-offs when you're setting up your own kind of banking solution, right? And you know, the other thing that you really need is a way to transfer securely from your cold storage, right, your super secure area, and your hot wallet, right? You're basically topping up your checkings account. So I think we have a feature that's pretty cool. It's live in Android, and I have an article explaining it, but basically you can do this kind of transfer in a very secure way on O3. I think no other really mobile wallets in the blockchain space like try to use that approach.
Right, and talking about features, could you just go into some of the features that are included in the wallet?
Yeah, so we've got the portfolio, right? So you can monitor, right? So you can store funds on there, but you can also monitor your cold storage, right? So you know how much money is being stored at multiple locations, and you can feel safe that even if it's not on your mobile device, it's secure. We've got news, all NEP5 tokens, claiming gas. What else am I missing?
Yes, send your fund, receive your funds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the setting that you are able to select the node that you are connecting to.
Yeah, for a debugging tip, everybody always is complaining about not being able to see their balances. Check your network. Be connected to a node that's in sync.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys think that this is sort of the future for cryptocurrencies, that everything's going to be on your phone and eventually that's how we're going to end up paying people?
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely going to have, you have to have 2 wallets minimum, right? You got to have that convenient wallet that is not as secure, and you got to have the very secure wallet that you're, you know, locking in your safe or burying in a hole or whatever, because otherwise you can't use it every day. And we're all trying to get to the point where you can use it.
Yeah.
And now, really, for the viewers at home, do you guys have anything that you're talking about at that you talked about at the conference that you might want to actually let them know that they haven't been able to see it?
Yeah, so our plan for the 2018, we are going to do the research and development on what we talk about, which is the anchor. So it's basically like it's going to be the fiat gateway. So we're going to provide a solution for the financial institution to tokenize the assets that they have, which is the basic assets is the, for example, the Japanese yen. So we want to provide a tokenization service for them. So
yeah. That's obviously we want to continue supporting and building out that wallet. And I think one thing that people don't realize about being like a wallet or cryptocurrency related company, it's actually really hard for you to take money. The moment you get, the regulations are not super friendly. And I think we've given a lot of consumer, everyday people access to the blockchain. But the thing that is missing is this kind of foreign institution or whatever. How do they get involved with using public infrastructure, right? Blockchain is basically public infrastructure, and we need ways to let them access it, right? So if we can provide some sort of tokenization service where a bank can go and take part of its reserves, issue out anchors or tether-like assets, it gives them a way to actually use that infrastructure. So we're obviously working with Neo smart contracts to do that, and ideally those would live on the Neo blockchain. So, and then you, of course, can access them from the mobile wallet. So that's definitely what we want to talk about.
That's awesome. And I mean, now looking just a little bit into the future, obviously there's probably going to be more Neo wallets that come to iOS, Android, other platforms that people are going to be looking into. Are you guys looking to be really the best and preferred Neo wallet, and how do you really feel about other people coming into the space?
Yeah. So we definitely hoping to be the best, right? But right now in the blockchain world, when the user is in control with the private key, now it's going to be the software is going to be the choice of the user now. So the more choice we have, the better, of course, right? So if this wallet is better, we happy for them. So we happy for the user. So whatever wallet that going to be coming up in the next maybe 3-4 months or the next year. So we hope that it's going to solve the real need for the user. It's going to provide a better user experience. So to set up the higher standard for the wallet.
And building off of that, I think we can, we're really focused on the Neo blockchain, right? And I think there's features that we can take advantage of if our sole focus is with Neo blockchain. And so for instance, you guys just heard from Charlie, we talked about integrating something like that block, was it NEOAuth? It's NEOAuth now. NEOAuth. So where, for instance, you can just generate, so we actually have a proposal out there, NEP9 on GitHub, and it provides basically a URI standard. So the use case for that is something like, NEOAuth will generate a QR code, you use your mobile wallet to scan that, and you're logged in. So being focused on Neo specifically, where a lot of people are trying to build multi-wallets, I think is actually going to be a pretty good advantage. And we also have a really nice head start in that, we know all the problems that might come up if you're trying to build a mobile wallet and how to really make use of the Neo blockchain.
Why'd you guys end up going into a Neo mobile wallet? Why not any other cryptocurrency?
So for me, so for instance, Ethereum has this kind of really big goal of being decentralized everything, and all applications are going to be run using these smart contracts. But for me, the most interesting thing about blockchains, about this is, it's the assets aspect of it, right? I talked about this a little bit in our presentation, or maybe Opsy did, about how basically a blockchain is this huge pool of value. It's like a value reservoir, we call it, right? And if the platform's focus is on just like preserving this value pool, we can basically tailor this application to really focus on the asset management portion and opening up access to these value pools, right? And if you open up that access, you just get more equitable financial system. Yeah, so I think Neo, with its focus on assets, is like perfect for financial infrastructure, or really any super valuable data, like your identity, which we talked about, the NEOAuth.
Yeah. And really, is there anything else that you want the viewers at home to know about you guys?
Yeah, I mean,
so yeah, we are hiring. If you are a developer, you are a designer that want to help us push the blockchain forward, yeah, please contact us at hello@o3.network.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, you guys heard it here. Danny from YLGV. And now I'm going to send you guys over to Chico Crypto.
Hey, yo, what's up, viewers? It's Tyler here of Chico Crypto. I'm here with Tyler Adams of the Moonlight Project. Tyler, so first introduce yourself, of course.
So my name's Tyler Adams. I'm one of the co-founders of City of Zion, and I'm also the co-founder of the Moonlight platform, which is a project on the Neo blockchain.
So could you explain for viewers out there, what is Moonlight in simple terms? Basically an elevator pitch. If you met someone in the elevator, how would you convince them to invest in Moonlight or use the platform?
Yeah, so the high level, right, in industry, we have a lot of visible issues, right? Specifically around employee engagement, right? And also hiring employees that are engaged on programs, right? Sometimes people want to work on something and the business needs don't really line up with that, right? And because of changing business needs, you continually end up in the situation where you're reorging or you're laying people off or you're pushing people in career directions that they don't really want. So the goal of Moonlight is to create an ecosystem that supports advanced project management tools, which is kind of common in technical industries, while also allowing people to work on things that they really want.
So how long has Moonlight been in the works for? When did you guys start, and how is the development going?
I mean, I guess this has been something that has really been discussed since City of Zion was really created. And I don't know if your viewers are very familiar with City of Zion.
Yes, of course they are, yes.
Yeah, so we've been talking about this a lot since the very beginning. And a lot of the concepts and the drivers behind City of Zion, right, where you have these really kind of impassioned or engaged contributors on these projects, right? So that concept we've tried to instill in a platform that can really be productized and used in conventional industries in addition to blockchain space as well.
So Moonlight is basically a decentralized work space platform.
Correct.
So what people do you see using it first? What kind of projects do you see happening on Moonlight first?
So I think in the very beginning you'll end up seeing a large influx of what we call resolvers in the platform from the technical space, right? I think you'll also see, and this is something that we encounter a lot in City of Zion, is groups that come to us to ask for technical contributors. Right? So they ask us, do you know somebody that knows how to write smart contracts in the Neo ecosystem? So I think you'll see that type of matchmaking occur very early on in the platform, just because we already do that. We facilitate that type of activity already in City of Zion on a daily basis. I think moving forward, or long term, what you'll end up seeing is conventional industry, right? Non-blockchain space start to adopt the platform, just because it provides a lot of really easy access to technical capabilities and actually also non-technical capabilities that you may not have within your kind of localized team of 5 or 6 people.
When you have hundreds, thousands, millions of people across the world able to contribute, it's better than 15, 20 of this small little company.
Right, exactly.
So could you explain the architecture of Moonlight? So Neo blockchain is being used, but is Moonlight going to be their own application, or?
Yeah, so at the base you have obviously the Neo blockchain, right? On top of that, we have a series of smart contracts that act as a trustless resume, and that's kind of at the core or base of the platform, right? Now, as you complete tasks in the system, and even before that, you can fill out a non-verified resume, effectively, right? You can think of like LinkedIn as an example, right? Where you fill out your resume.
And it could be true or not.
Right, exactly. It could be true or not. So in this system, when you go in and you complete tasks in what's effectively an analytical project management platform, all the tasks you complete are actually logged on the blockchain itself, right? As well as technical information like how well you performed, and vice versa, right? How well the product manager also performed in that relationship. And then you also get information about the bidding accuracy as well. So what that prevents is gaming of the system, right? Where somebody could go in and completely undercut everybody, right? And that ratio of bidding versus actually how long it takes you to complete a project or a task will ultimately go into our analytical project management platform, which will provide a lot of complexity for larger scale projects, which is more common in industry as opposed to kind of the freelance space.
Okay, so when you're talking about digital resumes, so individuals could have basically a digital resume. Do you see like project teams as well having resumes?
Right, yeah. So the system actually supports their recursive organizations is effectively what they are, right? So you can have an organization of a single contributor, right, which would be equivalent to the freelance space, right? You can also have an entire company. So, for example, like a contract development organization, right? They could all band together and also contribute as a single entity.
Really? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because I could see that even City of Zion. We could have a digital resume for the City of Zion.
Correct.
So do you see any other things besides the digital resume coming out of the Moonlight project?
Yeah, so the big thing is actually and I think this is what will show up in kind of phase 2 of our roadmap, our technical roadmap. What you'll end up seeing in addition to the digital resume is the use of that data on more advanced platforms, which will be very valuable to non-blockchain space, right? Where a project may take 2 years, for example, to complete, right? And that's historically been something that's been very difficult in the freelance space, where you bring somebody in for one single task and then you get rid of them, and then it's really difficult to deal with that onboarding activity, and then you're relying on skill sets that are subjective, et cetera, right? So I think what we'll end up seeing is this conventional space that adopts this platform as well is just the blockchain space, where they'll bring in this platform and they can actually use it internal to the company, right? Where they can go in and they may not even interface with the outside community or the freelance community. They'll just use it internally as a project management platform that's on the blockchain. And then all the contributors are also still building up their resume passively at the same time.
The thing I think is really cool is your skills are going to be verified. There's going to be no more, like you said, you can write anything on LinkedIn. You can write anything on a paper resume, and can it be verified? So I think that's one of the biggest things I can't wait to see is people cannot fudge resumes anymore. Guess what? This is the work I did, and this is how it got done.
Definitely.
So let's talk about the ICO for Moonlight. When do you guys have a plan for that? Any information regarding that?
Right. So the big thing for us right now is actually the technical architecture, right? And I think you'll see that a lot on the upcoming white paper, right? So we published 2 articles on our website currently. What you'll end up seeing is a lot more detail, including information about the upcoming token sale in our white paper, as well as some modeling, because we're a technical or statistical modeling group. You'll see a lot of that information as well with some relevant simulations on the token mechanics. We really want to, I guess, prevent a lot of hype around the project until that white paper comes out, because we want people to actually get excited about the real thing instead of, I guess, the term is shilling the project.
Exactly.
Right. So we'll get that out now, and then, we're kind of looking at an early, I think, Q2 kind of time frame for a token sale.
Okay.
With an MVP, or a minimum viable product, kind of following up in parallel.
Well,
so you'll see 2 swim lanes.
That's a good thing. One of the things I say on my channel regarding projects is you got to have a good blockchain, and you got Neo.
Right.
You got to have an MVP, at least a product out there working, and you got that. And you got to have a great community, and you're in the best community right now with Neo.
That's my opinion as well.
Mine too. So could you talk about some of the team members besides yourself on Moonlight?
Right. So I'm a co-founder of COZ, and my background is in analytical project management and systems engineering. And then we also have 2 other co-founders of City of Zion. So a lot of you may be familiar with Fong, or Alan Fong. He's a pretty big personality in the community. He's also co-founder of City of Zion, and then we also have Michael DeWall, who's another co-founder of City of Zion in the community. We also have a number of developers from, I'm saying City of Zion a lot. This is a very
City of
Zion centric project. So we have people like core developers from that community as well. So Chris Birmingham, and then Travis Lynn, definitely. They're really kind of headlining a lot of the core development activities as well.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's a pretty well stacked project in terms of development.
Very
capabilities.
robust too.
Yeah, and a lot of these people are very proven in the ecosystem already.
Exactly, and that's what you need. You need to have the foundation there before you can build up. Right. So could you talk about the marketplace within Moonlight?
Right. Yeah. So the marketplace is actually kind of interesting. And in the DevCon presentation, I talked a little bit about how it's very similar to an exchange.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So in a conventional currency exchange, you're trading one currency for another. Yeah. In our system, you have, they're more advanced matchmaking protocols, right? Because you aren't locking down to one specific currency for another. In our platform, you can think of it as trading a currency for work, right? Or what we'd call velocity in the system and project management space, right? So that's kind of the way to think about the platform as a whole.
As the trading that happens.
Yeah, so there's an exchange of currency for work.
For work, and how is work going to be verified? Like that is the type of work that is happening.
Right, so in the ecosystem right now, what you're kind of responsible for, you're not going to pay for work that's not completed, obviously, right? Yeah. So that's kind of the binding factor, right? So it's similar to, if you think of a traditional, like an Airbnb or an Uber or a Lyft or something like that, right? In an Airbnb, if they don't allow you to stay at your house, for example, you're going to not give them a good review. You're going to report them in the system. It's not going to work out, right? Yep. So that's kind of the same mechanic that we'll be using in our system. And I think you'll see that as well just throughout the system, right? We're kind of merging conventional project management platforms with some of these gig economy concepts to really provide a scalable solution that identifies tasks with their ideal candidates.
So you're probably pretty familiar with Microsoft Project.
I am.
So is there any Moonlight Microsoft Project type application out there you guys have been thinking about?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But I could definitely see some interfacing there, some support, right, some integration. That's actually a platform that lends itself really well to this ecosystem, I think, right, where you are effectively integrating this data set into that type of platform. Mm-hmm. One other thing to also consider, so Microsoft Project is a waterfall-based project management system, so one of the main goals of this project is also to support more of an agile type of development process, which is more common in software space, and especially in startups. So that's one thing that we really want to also support. But I mean, the project management tools are just that, they're tools. So I think the goal of this project is to support a bunch of them. I think a lot of them can benefit from the concepts that we're describing
I
here.
do too. So one question I like to ask all my interviewees is, how did you first get into cryptocurrency? Bitcoin or Litecoin, whatever you got into first.
Right. So I'm actually relatively new to the blockchain space. What initially got me excited about the blockchain space was actually the concept of the smart contract, right? And this is more from an engineering background, right? So I'm very interested in developing blockchain as a platform for other applications to be built on top of.
Yeah.
So I'm a very firm believer that this is kind of the future platform for a lot of applications.
Yeah.
So that's really what got me started in cryptocurrency. And you look at Neo and it just checks off all the boxes, right? Especially from an industry standpoint, right?
Exactly.
You can just write a smart contract in any language that's supported on the blockchain, and if the language isn't supported, well, then you write support for it.
Exactly. And for enterprise solutions, you can't have like Hongfei said, a blockchain that splits, a network split.
Correct.
So a lot of these enterprise and industry solutions are going to come from the Neo blockchain and Neo-based projects.
That's correct.
So one last question. Do you have anything for my viewers to learn about Moonlight? Where can they go to learn more? And any last words for them?
Yeah, so I guess I would highly recommend checking out the Moonlight website, which is just Moonlight.io. And, last words, I guess I would say if you're a developer out there, definitely join or look into joining City of Zion. And that's not specific to just software developers. That's, graphic designers as well.
Well, I definitely have a bunch of developers watch my channel and in my Telegram group. So guys, you heard it from the man himself, Tyler Adams. Look into the City of Zion. I want to thank Moonlight for actually getting the crypto YouTubers out here. That was perfect, man. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. And of course, I got to thank Neo. So now I'm sending it over to Crypto Love and Fabio of City of Zion.
Boom shakalaka, what's up guys? Randall here again from Crypto Love with the man Fabio from City of Zion. What is up, Fabio?
Cool. Great to be here.
Dude, it is a pleasure. I gotta say, it is honestly like an absolute pleasure to be here with you because I have a ton of respect for everything you do with City of Zion. So thank you for everything you do to begin with.
I have to actually thank you and all the media guys because you guys get the word out there, right? Without the channels, we are nothing. We're just noise isolated. So it's great. Thank you for being here on this event.
Awesome. So to everybody out there, tell them, what is up with City of Zion and NEX?
Right. So I think probably the viewers already know about City of Zion, but I'm going to reiterate that City of Zion is this community for Neo, and we are a community of builders. I like to call we a community of builders. So these builders, they are developers, they are marketing people, they are designers. And what we do is we have this system. So it's we are based on a concept. It's a foundation structure. And this foundation, it rewards people that do stuff on the new ecosystem. So most of the new advancements like NeoPython, NeoRuby, all this new cool stuff was done by the community. And when the community started doing that, we start to gather them and like empower their tools, empower they're doing, gather more people, and actually make this a reality. Yeah, so we can be here. Yeah. So that's it. To join us is really easy.
Okay. Well, how does someone join City of Zion?
So you enter in the Neo Discord. There's a handful of development channels there, and you just do stuff. So we have the GitHub. So it's github.com/City of Zion. There's a bunch of projects there. You find something that you like. You do a pull request. You fix a bug. Can be anything. So people think that they need to do this crazy smart contract to be in City of Zion. No, if you fix a button, it's a fix, right? So if you keep fixing buttons, it's very important also. So yeah, that's it. You go there, fix something, do something new, and really quickly you get to our private channel. Then from the private channel you get to the GitHub organization. From there you are in DevCon, you are in the stage, present your projects, and yeah, that's it.
Oh, awesome. Sounds good. One thing that I heard of recently is that there's not enough blockchain developers out there. There's basically like 14 jobs for every one blockchain developer. So obviously you haven't been a blockchain developer forever. So how did you get started in City of Zion? How did you get started in all of this?
Wow. So actually this is a chicken and egg problem, right? So I had just finished a previous project and I was looking for something new. I have been investing in crypto for a while, so I knew that was booming. Yeah, so I was happy like everybody. And I said, okay, I want to invest more as an investor, so not as a developer at all.
Okay.
But I couldn't because I was a Brazilian that was just moving to US. So I had issues registering in exchange and so on. So oh no, I need to do exchange because I need to do exchange so I can buy it. Right. And then I went to look at the platforms that we had at the time, and was not actually many because I need to look at something that was working because I want to do something, not on the future. I'm going to do something. No. Okay. And there was Ethereum, there was Neo, which was Enchar. And I kind of liked the architecture for Neo. So we saw that, whoa, there's a lot of great ideas here. So Xang, which is the founders of Unchairs, one of them is the technical guy. He wrote 2 pieces of articles and had all the pros and cons of the design. I said, okay, this guy really know what he's doing, which in blockchain is almost impossible. Like, look at so many projects and people don't know what they're doing. But I thought, oh, this guy actually weighted the pros and cons of all his decisions. So yeah, I'm gonna do in this project. Then I look at that, there was all in Chinese, man. All in Chinese. I don't read Chinese. Yeah. But then I said, okay, I need to translate the documentation, look at the code, do my stuff. There was no development channel there. So there was a chat that was open. And there's lots of people there just talking about price. I said, hey, is there a development channel? Nothing. I said, okay, I know how to do this. I have been doing open source before. I said, okay, I'm going to establish an open source organization. I tried to contact Dad didn't reply. Yeah, it hurts. But in the end, I said, okay, I'm going to do it either way because I want to do this project. Then we translated the documentation. Was something like, we're going to translate. We post in Reddit. I created a dev channel in Slack, which was a public channel. Anyone can join, but somehow people needed to be invited to do that, right? And I said, oh, guys, we are translating. Please, I need someone who speaks Chinese to review because everything was being done automatically. And it was not just me, it was another guy. And I said, okay, let's do in GitHub because GitHub is like the heart of open source communities. And then I organized that and we did the translation and we got a reward from that. So this was like this small bridge to talk to the Hongfei. I hold this reward. I redistributed. Actually, I didn't keep anything. I gave it away for all these guys helping. I said, guys, this is not the only reward. Who here is interesting and keep doing this, keep improving this thing because I really wanted Neo to be in the next level so we can do the exchange. The rest is history. I was able to talk to Dan Hongfei. He started to sponsor us. Then I flew to China. I presented a business process, how we're going to do City of Zion. These 90 council people going to vote every week. It was something crazy. He didn't believe it. He said, okay, you think this is going to work? Yeah. Yeah. And then we did it. They sponsor us, and then City of Zion becomes this community, hundreds of people doing stuff, and now they improve the Neo a lot, and I think they're gonna be improved much more. And this is something to think because when the Hongfei says Neo is gonna do 100,000 transactions, it's not Neo today. It's whatever gonna be in the future that's gonna be called Neo, because it's evolving, right? These people is evolving it. So then we are in a point that I say, okay, I'm gonna do the exchange. I presented my idea to Da Hongfei. I said, okay, I love it. Please do. It was not 100% decentralized. It said, please do decentralize it. we have this in our roadmap. So they had a roadmap, and there was their decentralized exchange. Please do it for me. I said, okay, I'm gonna talk to my team, talk to the guys. The guys loved the idea. Said, okay, we're gonna do the decentralized exchange. You can cross from the roadmap, and that was it. It was like a half an hour talk, and we started NEX from there. So it's like we started City of Zion to do NEX, and we improved a new to do this thing. It has been a crazy ride. Yeah. I hope everybody understood that, because I know it's a lot to take. Yeah.
You've been making huge developments in short amounts of time, and crypto is just crazy.
It's not me who's doing it. It's the amazing guys of the community.
Yeah.
So that's the power of open source, right? You have so many people contributing that the thing goes really fast. And because they are free, they choose what they do. They do with passion, so they do really, really great work really quick.
Yeah, that is awesome. Following what you love and just doing it.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about Neon Exchange. That's going to be awesome.
I hope so. Our goal with Neon Exchange is actually to be the best exchange for the user experience. And everything we choose there is to improve the user experience, even being decentralized, because we have this whole workflow, how you go to fiat to crypto, and the experience for that to work needs a decentralized exchange. Yeah, it's crazy, but it's like a requirement. Then we do this thing. We hope to enable like APIs, all this liquidity. So this is another thing also. People think about Neo Exchange as a better Binance. That's not our goal. Our goal is actually to enable any trade, anything that's tradable. So using a dApp, you need some trade. So if you operate an OTC table, you need trading. So we want to provide the tools for these people. So we're going to provide a wallet. We're going to provide a funds management system. We're going to provide APIs for bots and algos. And we're going to provide a retail exchange. That is what people is expecting, right? And this thing is going to be all integrated. So we are taking a vertical approach and going to be all integrated so people can easily use it. We need to stop talking about hashes. We need to stop talking about transactions ID. Our goal is to be really user-friendly. You have seen the hacks news recently, right? We believe that the reason people is suffering from that is because they kept the funds on the exchange. But why they kept the funds on the exchange is the main question. It's not that they kept it, that is the issue. It's why they kept it. It's because it's easy. People keep these funds there because they want to trade once a week, and it's easier to keep that. So we want to be easier than that, to have your own funds, you control it. That's the goal.
Yeah, you were talking about so easy that even your grandmother could figure out how to do it.
Sure. That's why I said we need to stop talking about hashes and talk more about who you send to and how much you send to, what you are buying and how you are buying. So we need to be clear on what's happening. Even for me, the other day I was looking at all the City of Zion transactions. I put my address for City of Zion there and look at the Explorer. I couldn't figure it out for who I was saying what, because there was like hundreds of hashes of transaction ID with amounts going in, going out, and all this change address to receive. I said, oh, this is all wrong, man. When you open your bank, you don't see the iBank hash number 8556. You send 11, return 200. You don't see that. You see, you send to Randall, you send to Fabio, 50. That's it. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, awesome. That sounds like a great project. So where are you guys in development of that project? What's the roadmap?
Yeah, sure. So the development of it is going to happen in stages. So as I said, we want to enable all these things. So we broke down in many different products. The first one is a extension for the browser, like MetaMask, but of course, easier one to use for empowering the developers to use it. And we're going to launch this March 1st. Together with this, we have a dApp, which is also how to use Neo, etc., but it's a dApp for doing fiat to crypto. So we have all the examples how to list in the blockchain for a transaction, how to send the blockchain to the transaction. This interacts with this extension. So it's like we are giving away the code for anyone in the world open their own Coinbase. Then you have the security issue. Oh, so I'm going to hold the funds from my users? No, that's why you have the extension. So it's a decentralized system for fiat to crypto. So we hope these people create this business of selling and buying crypto. This March 1st also. Beginning of March, after these releases, we do the KYC. End of March, we do the token sale. By end of March, we open the APIs for all the algo, for all the OTC tables. And a couple of months down there, mid of year, Q3, we open the retail exchange. And we hope by opening the APIs first, when people, normal people get to the exchange, the liquidity is already there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a full stack of things to happen. So that's the thing. March 1st, couple of months after the APIs, then Q3, the exchange.
Okay, yeah, so you've got a lot of work coming up.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Yeah, definitely. So for people who want to find out more about NEX, where can they go to find that stuff?
So NEX main channel is the Twitter and its website. When we have a technical development, we're going to do an article about that, describing how this works on the Medium. So we have a Medium, a website, and Twitter. So the best way to keep up to date is following us on Twitter. We can announce anything there. The best way to learn about technology is read our articles on Medium and follow us on GitHub. And the website is the website, right? Is the reference. We're gonna everything that's is critical. We're gonna update there. If it's not there, it's not time yet.
Yeah. All right. So how does NEX compare with other decentralized exchanges?
Right. So when doing the idea of the exchange, we look at the design space. So design space is what the name we give for all the techniques used on the other projects. So we look at it in the design space, and we see that there was a issue with performance and an issue with the kinds of trades you can do in decentralized exchanges. So we went to do something different that enables that. So we are using this tool we call off-chain matching engine. And this off-chain matching engine enables us to be much more higher performance, so you can do higher volume, and also to provide complex trades. So like margin, limit, market, you can do all these in NEX, and it's something that you cannot do on other DEX right now.
Okay, that's cool. What about with liquidity, getting enough trades on there? Do you have something for that?
Sure. I say that we love bots because by providing these high volume APIs on a DEX is really powerful for someone that which is a market maker. He can make like a huge amount of money by providing a service that is really important, which is liquidity, right? So that's why we will open the APIs before opening the retail. We want to have liquidity from these bots, from these people, from the market makers, from the people doing the trades.
Now, with NEX, there's pretty much no trade or no fees associated with trading, correct? Minimal fees?
There's a fee when you are a taker. So if you are adding liquidity to the exchange, there's no fee. But if you are taking out liquidity, there's a fee. This is in place so you wouldn't have kind of attacks of people removing and putting liquidities. And it's 0.25% is the maximum fee that we're going to charge. So if your volume increases, your fee decreases.
Okay, because the question I was going to follow up with would be, is NEX subject to DDoS attacks because of the low fees, or is that something that...
Yeah, so we have the fee on the taker. So there's a fee there to stop this kind of thing.
Okay, that's cool. And then the other thing, so we're winding down on time soon. I think we have time for a few more questions. Let's see, anything that you wanted to mention that I didn't cover?
Anything I want to mention? Let's see. Well, I saw that Tyler just gave an awesome interview how to join City of Zion, so I'm not going to repeat. Yes, I do. Entering Discord at cityofzion.io. Besides that, talk about how the NEX token works. So the NEX token is going to be a token that you put on a smart contract, staking it. And all this fee collected in the system that I just described, they're going to go to this smart contract, and who holds this staking NEX token can claim the fees. So it's very important how we take the fees. The fees are charged on the trade pair. So for example, you are trading with me Neo and Ethereum, and you are taking the Ethereum. So the fee going to be collected in F. And this F is going to be transferred to the smart contract. So when you are claiming your fees that you are entitled from your NEX token, you receive this F. So the way the value of the NEX token works is like a kind of an index of the buy orders, because it's weighted by the volume of buys.
Mm-hmm.
So this is clearly something that returns you value. So we are doing everything we can to be compliant legally. So we're going to be a security registered in Europe, and we are registering a company that can issue this security. Mm-hmm. So we're going to try to go Neo way and comply with all that we can, be prepared for the future. So we're going to file for securities, whatever we're going to operate. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Well, let's see. I think we have everyone ready. All right. So, guys, you've been waiting. First off, thank you so much, Fabio. That was absolutely awesome.
Thank you.
A pleasure. A pleasure. And then coming up next, we have Crypto Bud with Joon Lee from Ontology.
How's it going, guys? Thank you very much for that introduction. We are here today with Joon Lee from Ontology, guys. This is actually our final and our last interview. We saved the best for last, actually. First off, I want to say Ontology has been pretty much a driving force in the entire Neo ecosystem. So I am honored today to having to do this interview with Joon Lee here to talk a little bit about Ontology and some of the interesting things that are happening. And I'll be honest with you, the white paper is 36 pages, so it is a highly ambitious and highly well-regarded project that I think you guys are going to find interesting. So first of all, thank you very much, Joon Lee.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about Ontology specifically. There's a lot of things in here that my viewers always had a question on as far as one of the premier projects on the just overall. Can you tell us a little bit, and just for anybody who hasn't heard it, what is Ontology and what is it attempting to do?
Okay, Ontology actually is a platform, included two important parts. The first is Ontology is a public blockchain infrastructure and a platform. The difference is there are multiple blockchain. It's kind of chain network. We have a private common public blockchain infrastructure. Also, chain network have a very a lot of protocol with interchain protocol as protocol group as a new kind of infrastructure and public blockchain. Another above the infrastructure level, we have the module can support different specific industry and common modules like decentralized identity framework and decentralized data exchange protocol. And we'll have more module and protocols can support different industry. So that is Ontology. It's a platform can support a real business case, can running as a decentralized service directly without any blockchain technical background.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So my understanding is, after kind of going over Ontology, guys, is that there's three components of that, and maybe Junkin here can kind of go into it. One of them is being trust, and that was all over the white paper, all over the website, and also verification, and the last one being identity. The three pillars of the core vision of Ontology. So, Jung, let's talk a little bit about this. How are we integrating all of this in what we'll call the distributed ledger technology? Can you talk us a little bit about how we are building a framework, correct me if I'm wrong, over these three pillars, and a little bit about how each of these are important in the blockchain?
Okay. Above our infrastructure, blockchain infrastructure, have an important module. It's part of Ontology. It's called decentralized, the distributed identity framework. This framework have in first version we have a complex implemented the W3C's DID protocol complexly. That is first one in public blockchain doing that. And the distributed identity will link different trust source. It's not totally decentralized. That means use a decentralized approach to link or integrate some different trust source. The trust source may be from the centralized trust source, from government or from university or the company enterprise, and also can be the decentralized trust source like from a community, from people by people. But everyone can control different trust source to compile his or her the trust package. And they can use any kind of trust source depending on different scenario.
So let me understand this carefully. There are two camps right now. There's centralized trust sources, and then there is the decentralized. So Ontology is attempting to perhaps maybe be the bridge between centralized information and decentralized. Would that be an accurate statement as far as that?
Yes, it's kind of the integration platform. They can integrate it, centralized source and also decentralized source together.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about your ontology ID specifically on identification and using privacy. We've had a lot of problems right now with blockchain technology, and one of them being that information is widely public, and a lot of people have complained, and one of the criticisms for blockchain has been that if I want to store financial records, medical records, everybody can see that.
Yeah.
How do you think that's going to move forward? How's Ontology attempting to tackle this problem, with, especially for government agencies, medical records, etc.?
Okay. Ontology actually is more like, for identity part, is more like a connector or search engine. That means your personal information will not be online or on-chain. You will not keep your different data, your personal data, keep in the original source. Just only open kind of category or data address. And people cannot touch your data without your proof. So that kind of can protect your privacy on the data, but also you can improve the cooperation and automatically to run a business case.
So when I heard you mention the word indexing, it's very similar to like Google, how Google has access to, people say Google has access to our information, but in reality it's an indexing system that catalogs it. Is that an accurate statement? Would you say of what Ontology is attempting to do with data that's private and data that's public?
Yes, we have a called Ontology Trust Search Engine. It's kind of a top level the application. But the difference with the current search engines, everyone you set the data, the service, the people, or objects, you can have a way to prove which is true and which is not.
Exactly.
But you can to verify that, and everyone can control your privacy. Without your proof, other guys cannot touch your data.
Interesting point here. Let's talk about private chains and public chains. You mentioned also that in the white paper that you can build blockchains and that specifically you can opt to use the Neo blockchain or not. Can you tell us about why would you have that? Why would you not use any existing blockchains, and why would you go ahead and build your own in multiple chains?
Okay, this is actually the case. Currently, if you want to, currently the public blockchain, we can say that is second generation. First, of course, Bitcoin. The second generation also meets a lot of issues to support the real business case. One is performance. It's clear. Like another more important is cannot meet the specific requirement from a different real business scenario. Those kind of scenarios need to have their own governance requirements model with different consensus model, some permission policy, and even more the regulation requirement. Some case of different industry, they need a deeply customization and build their own blockchain. But they cannot be only private blockchain. That's not workable. They needed to link with the public blockchain with a kind of the cooperation in part. So Ontology is private platform, common platform for public blockchain, but also private framework, blockchain framework can do the deeply customization to build their own sub-blockchain. Yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting. And one of the things I'm really impressed, guys, is one of this idea of, we talked about on this channel about side chains, specifically privacy, enterprise level chains. Ontology is really hitting that point. So let's move over to your token specifically. You've not say, I wouldn't say just borrow the model of gas and from Neo. There's two tokens out. The first one is the ONG token and the other one's the ONT. Can you talk a little bit about how these two tokens are going to be used in the platform? Voting rights, currency tokens, things like that.
Okay, the token mechanism is same as Neo because it is very workable. Actually, I think I have approved by the market and the usage. And how ONT is kind of a governance model. They can do the governance for the Ontology network. They can, for example, voting for some parameter setting or the mechanism adjustment. And for ONG is kind of utility gas, utility token. They can use it for the different common service like transaction or common storage, and also include the smart contract. Yeah.
So you have the option to launch your own smart contracts. Is that correct? Would that be a correct statement?
Yes.
And you also have the option of not using Neo's smart contracts.
For the digital, if the digital assets, they will launch the digital asset, issue the digital assets on the Neo blockchain and integrate use those kind of token on Ontology network. They will use Neo's smart contract. But for some real case business process, maybe we'll use Ontology smart contract.
Let's talk a little about your Neo relationship, specifically Neo ID versus Ontology ID. Can you tell us a little bit about the differences between Neo ID and what they're trying to do with the trust, same thing, verification systems, and your specific ID system?
Neo ID is kind of identity service verification provider. They have their own account system based on Neo blockchain. But Ontology ID framework is not a verification provider. It's a kind of marketplace or mapping list. They can link to different account system or ID system, like Neo ID. Also include the national EID or some kind of say system, and also future maybe include other the system, IT system or blockchain's ID. Yeah.
I read somewhere that was really interesting that there wouldn't be, with your ID system, there's a possibility that you would need a passport, the elimination of the passport. Is that something in the future where I can actually upload the ID systems and there won't be no longer a reason to use passports because your network would actually contain that ID system across boards and you could actually use it across different financial instruments, also specifically through borders and geographic locations?
Sure, actually we are doing that right now because we will link to the China's national EID and also the financial institutions say system. And then you can use the ontology, the ID and the application to verify your national EID directly. That means next time maybe you need a passport. That can be linked to more countries, yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your business APIs.
Yeah.
So you've talked a little bit about, when we're talking about passports, how are you encouraging businesses to eventually develop some sort of APIs into your network? How's your development team doing that right now? It looks like you guys are, financial systems could be in place, hospitals are in place. Talk a little bit about that.
Okay, we can have several parts. One is infrastructure level, where we provide the basic API for different common modules. And for the different specific vertical industry, we will provide kind of the common module for those industry. For example, financial maybe have their specific data format for FX or different data exchange format. We will provide a common module for them. And for the if anyone want to build a financial service or application ontology, they can use the module directly. They needn't to care about how to write the smart contract. They use API to finish their process. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Let's talk a little bit about the also the compliance in data. So I envision China, for example, it's a highly centralized economy. It seems like your project is really tied into this idea of ID. Do you see yourself working really well with compliance and regulation, specifically for identities, also for government paperwork? For example, if I'm living in one city, I want to transfer all my paperwork in there. Do you see that ID being taken off in China, specifically in a country where the government has a really good handle of, needs to have a really good handle of its citizens and also, the ID structure?
Yeah, for the even cross countries, you can use same ID. The governments also need a private the public service.
Yes.
They need a public platform to do that. And the ontology is kind of choice for those kind of service because we will not touch personal the data. We just kind of link a connector. They will help government to private public serve very easily, and also they can be more open. And everyone can trust them, not only their own IT system. So that is a way to do that. Yeah.
Going a little bit about China specifically with Neo, your relationship, on-chain.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit. On-chain, in my understanding, is the parent company for both Ontology and for Neo. So would you consider yourselves brothers and sisters for Neo?
Okay, I want to do some clarification for that. On-chain, of course, on-chain CEO and co-founder with me is Hongfei is the co-founder of the founder of the on-chain. But on-chain with Neo is different team. That's first thing. Ontology is on-chain's project. So on-chain is in nature the ontology project. But finally, ontology will become a public commit project. But in this phase, they are on-chain's project. Yeah.
On-chain's project.
Yeah.
Let's. The last part I want to kind of talk about here is there was a graphic on pharmaceutical companies, or let's just say, for example, doctors. Can you tell a little bit about in the medical field specifically, how would this help someone? For example, when I go to a doctor and I want to get some prescription medications.
Yes.
I have to go to the doctor first.
Yeah.
I have to go to the pharmacy. The pharmacy has to send the prescription to the doctor to verify that, to see if it's me. And the pharmacist has to verify that the drugs, the medications are correct.
Yeah.
How do you see ontology kind of fitting in that role of ID verification, trust,
Okay.
Yeah.
We call that process is distributed cooperation process. In many business process actually is cross organization, even cross country. For this case, is doctor. You need the pharmacy need to verify the doctor and the doctor's paper need how to it's real or not, it's legal or illegal.
Yes.
And in this time, is for example in US they have built some vertical IT system to cover some process that is high cost and cannot cover everything. If you have the public blockchain to do that, I can easily verify the doctor. And how to verify doctor, maybe link the doctor's trust package. Maybe is FDA or the other governments can verify, this is licensed, doctors have been licensed and it can be trusted. And pharmacy, I don't care who are you, I just can verify you, it's enough. So those kind of cooperation very easily and automatically with very low cost. And the idea not only for the medical field, they can cover the more different industry, those kind of distributed cooperation.
The distribution organization, you're talking about vertical levels of trust. So what you're basically saying is, in the future, there's a possibility that you no longer have to use paper to verify, IDs to verify.
Yeah.
Everything is going to be digital.
Yes.
And that digital ID could work across different countries.
Yes.
And work in different governments.
Yeah.
Because they're all working on the ID.
Yes.
Amazing. I'm first off, guys. If you have not checked Ontology, I'm really impressed in terms of the ID system. So leaving off with that, is there something, if somebody were to say, how would you clarify Ontology in 3 or 4 sentences, maybe less than that, for someone who says, why would we be interested in how would blockchain, decentralization, centralization, and Ontology be the wave of the future? What would you say to that quote?
Okay, Ontology is kind of the mixed blockchain infrastructure. They have the decentralized common service, blockchain service, and also we are include or integrated some centralized service or even centralized the blockchain system, private blockchain system. That means we use a decentralized approach or architecture to integrate centralized service and decentralized service together to running for this new ecosystem. That is we build the bridge to the real case, real business case. Not if you're totally decentralized and a stable mechanism, you cannot involve every business scenario to the blockchain service.
Awesome. And there was actually, one last question here. You are building protocols as well. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Plus you're building an infrastructure.
Yeah.
In terms of your protocols, I know there was a lot of them in here I wanted to go over, but in terms of security, are you implementing RSA and any of the high-level security, especially when we're dealing with ID? And talk a little bit about those protocols.
Okay. The security part have 2 parts. Is privacy. The privacy, we use a mechanism, don't touch your raw data, just a kind of address. Another is the data protection, like we use crypto, the modules. You can protect your data during the transfer. Another is kind of the MP is multiple the calculation, the security calculation, the modules. You can do the calculation without know any data information. So those kind of module will be added to the Ontology to support that.
Well, thank you very much for that interview, Jung. I really appreciated having that great conversation, guys. So that's going to wrap up our whole entire NEO interview conference for today. I want to first of all say thank you for the NEO platform ecosystem, NEO News Today, for hosting this, sponsoring this whole event. Without them, we couldn't have had these great speakers here, like Jung here talking about Ontology. We've had an awesome experience. I personally have enjoyed just talking to everybody. I also like to thank the Moonlight project for also providing the ground transportation, basically the airfare, everything. I am eternally grateful. I hope all of you enjoyed everything today for Neon DevConf. Even though you were not here, most likely there will be another one. And again, all these streams will be recorded on my channel and also across all the other YouTube channels. If you have any additional questions that maybe you wanted to get answered, please send them over to me on the comments below, or you can email me and I can send them over to the team here at NEO and also to the projects I covered. But once again, thank you guys, and that was the end of our session. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you.